I wanted to place an order with the restaurant, but there was no photo, and it's hard for me to figure out what do these descriptions of food items mean. So I turned to Midjourney to try to visualize this and get a sense of what I would like and not like, and I wanted to show how this looks. So I paste, and this is fairly straightforward. I have the Midjourney Premium. I use the Imagine, and I add realistic in front of it. That's the main thing that I'm doing. And let's try it for all these options. So I'm adding them one by one, and there are a few which I've already tried out. So that's the benefit here. So I've already tried out spiced. I've tried two of these, pulled oomp and spiced oomp. I think I've tried the other one, but seems like the only difference is a small one. So I'll not change that. But what it also seems is that when you go inside it, there are more options. First, let me show you how some earlier attempts look like. The pumpkin and spinach burger looked the most interesting, but it wasn't clear to me whether the burger itself is made of pumpkin and spinach. So here I'm guessing this there are pumpkin seeds on the burger. There's no spinach in the burger based on these images that it generated. I don't see spinach. Oh yeah, I see spinach below in some of these burgers, and I on the top. So it's there somewhere in the burger. And then it seems to have everything else that's probably mentioned here. Let's check that. Fresh baby spinach. So we have that. Tomatoes. Yes, I see some red stuff. I see some in the background, not necessarily inside, but often it's in there. Grilled mushrooms with balsamic. So I see grilled mushrooms. Balsamic. I'm guessing. Oh, it was grilled with balsamic. Shredded crispy carrot. I think I saw carrot in some of these. I see it on the side. Here I see it inside. So maybe this one is more representative. Red cabbage slaw. I see that in most of them. In the third one, it's outside. Sriracha sauce. In one of these, there is sriracha sauce dipping, and in the rest, I don't see it explicitly. So that's some, but it gives me a sense of whether I like it or not. And this seems a bit heavy, so I want to look for lighter options. Then I tried the had me at halloumi, so I put that description here. This seems like a plate instead of things made up, and but that might also be because I didn't choose any of the options. So let's check out the options. I will use this same thing, and I will add more to it. So you should select at least one. So let me see, what would I prefer out of this? I would maybe prefer a small bowl out of this because I want to see what's small. I don't. Oh, but looks like the small bowl also increases the cost a lot. No, that's fine. Toasted or not? So I'll say toasted, but then the small bowl, there's nothing that can be toasted. For a very different photo from the plates, let's try to put it in one of these breads. I'll put it in petita brown and toasted. So let's try how that comes. Meanwhile, the falafel one has come out. So this looks like a meze platter or a platter that comes at during starters. But let's see if that's what it's supposed to be. No, again, you're supposed to have it in a bowl or something. So we'll again try to modify this and see what other options come up. That's falafel. And I'll add here small bowl, realistic. And let's see how that comes up. What other options did we not see? Shredded crispy carrot. So we didn't see this one. Where is shredded crispy carrot? That's garden. Okay, so that does look like more like a garden salad than anything else. Whereas I'm sure in here it's either pita or bowl. So it's kind of like the Mexican style of burrito or bowl. But Midjourney, my prompt was not able to capture it because I did not add that qualifier. Okay, so these two outputs are here. So for the grilled halloumi cheese, we said toasted and petita brown. I don't even know what's petita brown. I would have, uh, I assumed it's a bread. Okay, that's none of that makes sense. And maybe that's why it also didn't make sense to Midjourney. What were the other options? Original white pita. Let's try that. Original white pita sounds more understandable. Or maybe what I need to do is it's in that in original brown pita bread and it's toasted. Or maybe the bread, because it's important, that needs to come at the very start with. And I know with those kind of words don't really matter too much in Midjourney because it's not, it's grammar agnostic. So let's try it out. The falafel, I told it a small bowl. So it has put things in a bowl. And from my experience using such ordering, it usually the things are not mixed up. They do come up separate. Let's see how accurate is it to the description. Falafel, hummus, tzatziki, black olives. So these are fine, but I see some falafels seeming like falafels which are not grilled or not fried. So this one seems like an aberration. Here, this seems fine, but it has small pieces of pita bread which I didn't add, but because it usually comes with it, maybe that's why Midjourney also added it in. So this is the one we are trying to recreate and see how it looks. What we should also do is try something which we are very familiar with. Yum burger or fries. Let's try a fries because we want to see, can we use this to figure out what something would look like and make a decision based on it. So here I said original brown pita bread with so and so, so and so. The second one looks more accurate because usually it's not two pita breads between and the stuff between them, but instead like each of them usually has its own wrap. The third one, I guess it could also be delivered like the third one, not like the first one, not like the fourth one is my guess. So it seems like I would also need to Google these images to see what's true and then come back to to Midjourney to see, well, what's the usual way of serving pita bread versus how is this description getting generated from Midjourney and what's the intersection of those. This one has not yet started. I will also search something on Deliveroo. I found an option on Deliveroo. Deliveroo is like Grubhub or DoorDash. So some of them, the dishes have photos. So I find this dish which has a photo and it has a description. So we can try that out. And add-ons, do I see feta in this photo? I don't. Chicken, no. Salmon, no. Gluten-free bread doesn't matter for the look. So this is something we can try. I see an output for the urban health outcome. So let's click that here and let's open the same here. So I see bread on both sides, eggs on top of it. The leaves, does it say which leaves? Mixed leaves. Okay, so any of these are fine. I see some nuts here. There's chili butter, toasted multi-seed sourdough. Okay, so I see um, these don't look as okay. The third one has some seed and it also has some chili powder, but no chili butter. I also don't see any chili butter in this photo. So, um, it feels comfort, although they are not the same. And there's no description of the pesto. Oh, I guess there's herbs pesto or tomato pesto. Did either of those show up here? So there's some, I guess, pesto-ish thing here, and maybe in there, but I guess now I'm stretching into the imagination. So yeah, there look to be some things missing, and that would be where I could do an iteration here. But an iteration wouldn't make sense if I'm trying to figure out what the dish would be because I wouldn't know how to make an iteration. This is the other item I made, and all four look very close to each other. Just there's this a flowery thing here which probably won't happen. Apart from that, all of those look similar. Is that there's fries, maybe dripping cheese and carne, or and the chives. So this seems to be close to what we were looking for in the other item from lunch team. So I wanted to experiment with, can we go from menu descriptions, which sometimes are really long, very detailed, but hard to understand what I want, using Midjourney to figure out what I want? And I feel comfortable with where this is in, especially if it's a place I'm really wanting to go to try out the food and there aren't 50 options, but maybe 20, 10 options, then I feel up to trying this out with some Google searching, Google image search, and Midjourney generation to reach the images that will help me decide.